You know, today is a very special day. We're gonna give the Street Glide a little bit of a break and take out Big Purp. I haven't been on Big Purp in, maybe 2 or 3 weeks now. So she's just been sitting there looking pretty in the Concord purple color. This is my 2001 Deuce, otherwise known as Big Purp. But it's a great day outside, close to 70 degrees. It's just calling for a motorcycle ride. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about why you don't necessarily need to spend a ton of money on a motorcycle to still have motorcycle fun. You can have just as much fun with that one back there and this one right here. Big Purp, by the way, I got this bike for less than $4,000. I think it had like 12,000 miles on it at the time. I love this motorcycle. But we're gonna take a ride. I think I'm gonna head towards the beach. By the way, I have my clothing brand, Iron Coast Supply. The Daytona shirts are selling fast, almost out of stock. And if you want to get them before Daytona Bike Week, I'll put a little picture up here of the shirt. If you want to get them, you got to order them now. But we've got a cool shirt and hoodie design out there if you want to check it out, support the channel. If not, that's cool too. So with that said, let's hop on Big Purp and go for a ride. Let's do it. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Brandon Hart. I like making motorcycle videos, mostly Harley-Davidson. A lot of going to motorcycle events, some new rider advice, talking about bikes, you know, the good stuff. I'm usually joined by my partner in crime, Hope on a Harley. But she is unfortunately at work today. So real life called, and unfortunately she wasn't able to ride with me. I love this bike. I love the sound. And we've been having a great stretch of really nice weather here. I'm in Clearwater, Florida. The high's about 70. I think this week we're consistently in the mid 70s again. That was a long 2-week winter here in Florida. I'm only kidding. I know some people that watch, I mean, when you're up in the Northeast, I don't know what it is this year. I have a lot of family in South Jersey, Baltimore, not Baltimore, but South Jersey, Maryland area, and from what I hear, it's brutal. Lots of snow. The snow still isn't melted from a couple of weeks ago, and I feel for you. I lived most of my life in the Northeast, and good reason why I moved down here is this weather. It's beautiful. So today we're talking about how you don't need to spend a lot of money to have just as much fun on a motorcycle as the next guy. I'll tell you a little story about the Deuce, how it came about. When I moved to Florida, my first touring bike I ever bought is the Street Glide in my garage. It's a 21 Street Glide Special. And so I rode that for a good year. Got the channel rocking and rolling, started making some videos and riding everywhere, and I really enjoyed it. I really still do enjoy riding that bike. But one day I went riding with a group of friends, and a close friend of mine now, who first time I met him, he was on his bike, is my friend Tim. Tim's been in a whole bunch of my videos. He's got the 2014 Dyna Lowrider. It's a beautiful motorcycle. But he was the owner of this bike, which was his first Harley. And I remember when he was selling it, it was just about a year ago now that I bought this bike. Almost exactly a year, because it was right around Daytona of last year. And I remember talking to him and said, hey man, if you ever get rid of that bike, I want it. I just really like the purple color, and I thought it was cool. You don't see many Deuces out there. And so
along came the day where he wanted to sell it. He was looking for more of a Dyna style bike, and we worked out a deal. It was less than $4,000. I think he got it for like $3,500. I think I paid him like $3,700. Had close to 10,000-ish miles at the time. I'm about to hit 20,000 on it now. So let's do a good mix of riding. I actually took this bike to Daytona Bike-toberfest the end of last year. I basically did the old school, tie a duffel bag with bungee cords to the back, and it did great. So anyway, I bought this bike last year, right before Daytona. And why do you need two motorcycles? Well, you don't. You only need one motorcycle. After riding this, though, I started getting this feeling like, I don't know, did I waste my money on the Street Glide? Because I found myself, if I'm staying local, I want to grab this bike every single time. I make the analogy, compared to the Street Glide, this is almost like being on a bicycle. It feels small. It's super easy to maneuver, and you could just throw this thing around. I think the term a lot of people use is bar hopper. Now, I don't drink. I go to bars and stuff with my friends, but I don't really drink. No, I don't drink at all. And so I don't know if I'd call it a bar hopper. Maybe just like a town hopper, something like that. Now, there were some minor things to work out on this bike, but I think part of the joy of buying that used motorcycle, I mean, this is a 2001, so that's hard to believe, but it's a 15-year-old motorcycle. It's going to have problems here and there, but it's also really good. You can learn how to work on bikes through your trial and error and your experience on an older Harley. You find that the Harley motors haven't changed a ton over time, unless you're looking at the liquid cooled motors on the bikes that nobody really buys. But I get this old school kind of chopper looking bike. I put the chrome bars on it, did the chrome headlight. Just, my thing was I didn't want it to be too gaudy, so I just fixed a few minor details. And there's still a couple things I need to work on. But it was a lot of fun doing that, and I just found myself going to this bike more and more. And there was a stretch of 5 or 6 months where this is pretty much all I rode. I had my brother come visit from New Jersey, and it was cool having two motorcycles because he could ride one. He's like, I want to ride the Deuce. Everybody that rides this bike, they just want to ride it. It's a fun bike to ride. It gets looks. It really does, for being an older, cheaper motorcycle. And I've done a few videos out there on finding Harleys for good deals and less than $5,000. You really can find some great deals. So the point of entry to riding motorcycles is not as high of a dollar amount as one would expect. And when you go used, you can start fixing the bike up or customizing the way you want to, and you also don't owe the bank a lot of money. You don't have this outstanding loan to pay off. I could probably turn around and sell this for definitely at least what I bought it for. Maybe a few $100 more. So why this is not a financial advice channel. Why have your money sitting in savings when you could have your savings sitting in your garage? I know. Technically, it doesn't appreciate over time. But if you have a big touring bike and you don't have a Softail, or you haven't ridden a smaller bike in a while, jump on. I mean, it's just so much more fun to ride, and I don't like anything on it. It probably makes sense to throw a windshield on here and some Viking bags, maybe a leather bag on the front. I just like it with nothing, almost like the way it was intended. I don't need any accessories on it. Hope is very much into horoscopes. Well, she calls me before my ride and tells me something you never want to hear before your ride. And she says, "Brandon, are you going riding?" I said, "Yeah, I'll probably get out there today. It's beautiful. Why not?" And she says, "Well, be careful. I read your horoscope." And of course, I'm like, okay, well, this is why you don't read horoscopes. So I said, "What did my horoscope say?" She said, "You're accident prone." Great. I'm about to hop on my Harley, and you're telling me I'm accident prone for the day, to be careful. So I already got that in the back of my mind. It's the exact reason I don't do horoscopes and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying out a new camera angle on this thing too. Hopefully it turns out good. But I think the plan is headed towards Clearwater, Indian Rocks Beach right now, and I'll probably find a spot to get some lunch. Haven't really eaten anything really good today, so some lunch is definitely in store. I've had a few questions on these bars before too. These are 14-inch chrome apes. Believe it or not, just eBay. They're like not even branded. 14-inch bars. I think I paid $105 or $98 for them. Some people do the meat hooks, but I think on the classic bikes, even on the newer ones, I'm starting to lean more towards that curved classic look. And part of me still wants to get a Softail and do like a Vikla build with either a Softail Heritage or a Road King Classic. But we'll see what this year has in store. I got some inspiration coming up. We're going to Daytona in a couple of weeks for the first weekend. Hope and I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then I haven't decided yet what the plan is the rest of the week. Probably am not going to spend the whole week there, but I may go back during that second weekend, weather permitting. Curious to hear your story out there. If you have a bike other than a newer Harley, what kind of used Harley did you get? Did you get a deal on it? And do you like your used Harley more than the newer ones? I kind of do. Like, think about it. This bike, I have the speedometer with a little digital mileage indicator that gives me some information, and then a gas gauge on the left side. I'm good. I don't need anything else. I don't need a radio on this bike. I love the sound of it. Now, most of the recent videos have been on the Street Glide. I haven't had Hope on this yet. I'll have to get her thoughts. I don't know how she feels without having the backrest. I know she likes to relax back there. So I haven't found a backrest for this that I really like, and I don't really like the look of it for this motorcycle. Hope's funny. She started her own YouTube channel called Hope on a Harley. If you look up Hope on a Harley with no spaces, you can find it. I usually have her tagged, at least in the most recent videos I've done. And she was so pumped. She was like, Brandon, I got 100 subscribers. I think she only uploaded one short. I'm like, Hope, you need to get out there and just upload some shorts of the events and stuff we do and go to. So we'll see what she ends up doing. Maybe I can convince her to start riding and kind of document her experience. And we did get some comments out there of people who, they were like, oh, you got to get Hope out there on her own bike. It's awesome when you're riding with your girl and you got her next to you. And I can see that. I think that's really cool for people that do that. But I couldn't help but be stressed the hell out the whole time. Like if someone cut her off or, you know, something went down, oh man. I can control me, but having someone new, and there's a lot of crazies out here in this state of Florida. If you want to help encourage Hope, send her some love at Hope on a Harley. We got a lot of stuff we post on Instagram too, by the way, at Brandon Hart. I've got an underscore on my name, Brandon Hart underscore. I do have a TikTok. I tend to just do like shorts on there. Here it is. Cantina, BOGO margaritas, and all day, every day. Cool. I don't do margaritas, but this place looks pretty good. And front row parking, so really can't beat that. Good stuff.
Mad Beach Cantina is a hit. Place really good. Check it out if you're up at Deer at the beach. I'm gonna hop back on the Deuce, looking lovely. The sun hitting it just right. Come on. Beautiful bike. Enjoying this weather. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm just gonna ride back, and we'll catch you on the next one. If you do ride, remember, keep that rubber side down. Y'all take care. Peace.